In this video, we're reacting to and breaking down some of the best work that I've seen coming out of college football. Let's get into it. Hey, what's going on? My name is Peter Sarellas. I'm a videographer and editor from Toronto, Canada. I specialize in sports videography. And even though I'm Canadian, I'm still big into college football, and the college football playoffs are coming up around the corner here. So I want to react to some of the best college football content I've been seeing on Instagram. I got this folder where I always save a bunch of cool sports media work that I draw inspiration from, sometimes for my own work. And there's a bunch of college football stuff that I love looking at. So let's check some of it out. So when I recorded this video, it turns out I had my audio channels mixed up, and instead of recording into this microphone that was in front of my face for the entire video, I accidentally recorded all my audio into the camera's onboard microphone. So I did my best to clean it all up and make it sound passable, and I think it sounds good enough to watch, which is why I'm posting it. But if the audio quality in this video is slightly worse than my previous videos and my future videos, then apologies, I messed up. The video is still good in my opinion, so let's get back to it. Thanks for hanging out, and sorry again about the audio thing. Enjoy. Now, everyone whose work I look at is going to be linked down in the description of this video, so you can go check them out and support their work if you want. But the first one we got here is by Guerrera Films and a few other shooters. Let's check it out.
Why we greedy like wolves? We need new shoes. Baby need new shoes. Rocky body wanna be like you. Natural body wanna be like you. Hello body wanna be like you. Magazine like you. GQ like you. Getting on the like me like you. Switching on them. We got one make a move. Got a green like you. We come
That's incredible. Everything from like the sound design to the effects to the color is just beautiful. I noticed like right away the sound design and the quick cuts off the start are a really engaging way to pull people in, and it locked me into this video. Like I was in for the whole ride once I saw that intro. If you look at the way it's ended, you can see it's like a mix of black and white and color, and there's like lots of whip pans kind of worked in throughout here. They've gotten a lot of scene setting stuff. This is like a recap of the Buckeyes game in Washington. So like the extra effort even required to like go out into the mountains and film all of this, like get the black and white shots of the trees and like all this wide stuff. It's like they probably went for a hike the day before the game and shot establishing shots of like the Washington area to use in this video and set the scene, and it really worked well. Like it really gives me context to like everything that I'm about to watch and makes me care about it more as a viewer. The amount of rotoscoping that was done in this video to do those like digital glitch type of effects but keep the player clean in the foreground, I don't even want to think about the amount of time spent in After Effects making this recap. I love the way that this was colored. It's not true to life obviously, but it's very stylized, and it works really well with like the way that the nature shots were colored and all that stuff. Like it's all really consistent. It's like leaning into the teals. The reds are bright and the teals are bright, but the purple of the other team, like Washington, is kind of desaturated, which I think is a really good choice considering you're making the videos for Ohio. Like that's really thoughtful to do, and clearly there was like a lot of time spent in coloring this video. And here you can even see it. They've got the same thing, whereas like the teals in the sky are really bright, the reds are really bright, but the purple isn't that bright. There was a bunch of motion track text throughout this video, even motion track dialogue next to a player's face. At one point, I had it appear on the screen word for word, and then we end on the same lyrics and music that we started with to kind of bookend the video, and nature shots from Washington, just like we started on. It's kind of nice sometimes when you're editing to have a video start and end in a similar way. It kind of feels like a closing chapter. Also for social media, it's easier to kind of like make the thing loop and people don't really know where the end is, which is helpful for like people rewatching and engagement and all that stuff. Dong here uploaded some other slides. There's like a couple other little video clips. So he clearly went out with like an actual VHS camera and filmed stuff in the mountains and then like used this media in the video, which honestly I think is the right way to do it. If you want to do an effect like this, like take an old camera and actually go film the stuff that you want to use. And then we have a couple other little sequences here. And then here we have the After Effects timeline, which is way too many layers. I don't even want to think about this. I would love to see the whole timeline, but just looking at the layers on their own with no other context just gives me anxiety. So I don't even want to think about that. The sound design in Premiere Pro, and yeah, as I expected, you can see there's two music layers up here. So this is probably like going back and forth between like the music with the filter on it and the music without a filter. And like obviously the music is chopped up a lot. It's not just like as it was recorded. He's taking parts of the music and placed them so that it kind of like creates peaks and valleys, and the cuts with this video can match the music. They shot this on 2FX3, so this is like 1FX3 with a 100-400 lens, and then like maybe like a 24-70 type of lens. Shotgun mics for capturing ambient audio, and then the color grading was done in DaVinci with too many nodes for my liking, but it looks great. Yeah, beautiful. There's a couple shots from their nature hike. Amazing. One of the comments say bro got all the elements down, and yeah, like Don, you got all the elements down, like color, sound design, like editing, and like pacing. You got lots of emotion and all the reactors that you needed in the shots. Like it's beautiful. And shout out to the other guys who filmed with you as well, because like I know not one person is filming all that. That's a team. You guys are great. This is inspiring work. Like I hope the people watching this video get inspiration from it, and I'll likely take inspiration from it as well. All right, next up we got something from Edmonson Media for the University of Minnesota football. Let's check it out. That's fun. Nice simple video telling people to wear gold and promoting Minnesota football. Like it was like a uniform type of thing. It could be promoting like a gold game, like a themed game. It's just like a use of a bunch of simple visual effects on a tripod to create a really engaging video. So let's break this down from the start here. This first effect that they have right here, where the players standing in their pads essentially, and a helmet falls from the sky, and then all the different pads shoot on them. Basically, all you're doing there is you have the player standing there, and you have like a PNG of every single piece of equipment, and you're animating that PNG to fall. You're filming a shot of the player without that piece of equipment on, and then you're filming a shot of that player with that piece of equipment on, kind of like acting as if it's just falling from the sky. So if the helmet's falling from the sky and the player's not wearing it, you get a shot of the player going like this without the helmet, and then you put the helmet on them and get a shot of them going like this, as if the helmet just hit their head. And then in post, you just cut those together and animate the PNG of the helmet falling from the sky. You can do that for all the different pieces of equipment, whether it's like the arms or the legs or whatever it is. And then you can kind of get this cool like getting dressed effect. And you shoot this obviously like to make your life easier on a tripod, and then you can add all your movement afterwards, shoot it in 4K or 8K or whatever you can. And then you can like keyframe some camera movement in post. But like it's really effective. And the thing that sells it, again, I talked about this in the last video we talked about, is the sound design. Like this doesn't hit the same without sound design. But when you can hear the pieces of equipment flying through the air and slapping onto the player's arm, even if that's not what happens in reality, it's visual effects, then it sells it more, and it's super engaging. Motion blur obviously helps. And then we have the player just come up to the tripod, which is an easy cut to do because it's a static camera. You don't need to do any motion tracking. Put your hand on the lens and take it off. Thing is like literally a YouTube transition, so that's like very fun. It kind of breaks the fourth wall, which is like really creative and like cool to do. And again, very easy to execute from an editing perspective. This again, just tripod, have the guy do a bunch of poses, jump cut them all together, have him stand in the back, have him stand in the front, and you can like start cloning him around the frame and all that type of stuff. I love that shot to break everything up. The vignette where you just zoom in and you kind of hear the lens click a little bit and he looks up at the camera. That's a very creative shot. The only thing that could be tricky about doing this outside is if the lighting conditions change while you're filming this, then it'll look weird when you draw the mask, but clearly the lighting was pretty consistent here, so that looks really good. Very clean. And then wear gold. A simple message at the end. This is a quick 15-20 second video. It's using lots of visual effects, but visual effects that are pretty executable pretty easily. You don't even need to go into After Effects for that. That's all doable in Premiere Pro. It just like gets a simple message across to Minnesota football fans. Wear gold at our next game. It's the gold game. Good marketing. When you have 1 week to turn a video around and you need to turn something around quickly and you have a bunch of other projects going, you want to make it stand out and be creative, this is the type of thing you turn to execute. And yeah, executed very well. All right, this next video is a uniform reveal from Noah Halford over at Tennessee Football. Let's check it out. I think the thing that brings it over the top for me is just the creativity in the concept. Like, it is so cool. The Instagram Reels format is great for like engagement. And also I love that it gives us more BTS here. So you can see that those really tight shots He's shooting on what looks like an FX6 and a 100 to 400, probably at the longer end of that focal length. We have the wide shots on like what looks like maybe a 16 to 35 millimeter lens, if I had to guess. So there's this stuff handheld of like what looks like 16 mil, where it's like panning up, following the subjects. I love the interaction with the camera. That's great. And then there's this tight stuff where it's like the player is on literally what looks like a military runway wearing their grays that match the planes behind them. It's so cool. I don't even want to think about the amount of permits and prep work that was required to like get access to this location and get this all to happen. I don't even know what's VFX and what's practical. I would assume this is mostly practical, but maybe it's just really good VFX and I'm not picking up on it. They kind of had like 2 sets here, it looks like, as well, which is great for breaking up the action. So there's like this one where they're like shooting into this building and they have the trucks next to them, and they've shot this at like a couple different focal lengths, but this is mostly wider stuff. Yeah, so this is the same set, but just inside. And then they have this set, which is like walking with a plane behind them that kind of like matches the color of these new jerseys. You can see at the top gray here is kind of the same as this gray in the middle of the plane. The bottom gray here is kind of the same as the gray on the outside of the plane. I would assume there's a couple of camera operators, like there's someone with a gimbal here that's getting like wide shots to set the scene, kind of setting up the money shot, which is the tight shot here, where the player is dead center and the plane is right behind them. There's perfect symmetry in this frame. Like, it's beautiful. You could draw a line right down the stripe in their helmet and both sides would be basically the same. Like, this frame is gorgeous. So to like mix the wide stuff in to like set the scene and then pay it off with a beautiful tight shot like this is just perfect. And it makes these jerseys look so cool. And yeah, the music was super cool. I think the music was really, really fitting that they chose. We talked about bookending stuff. They started on a wide shot tilting up, pushing in towards the player, and they ended on a wide shot tilting from the player up to the planes, and then the planes fly by and you're just on the blue sky, and then the video ends. Beautiful work. It's not too long. It's incredibly engaging. It makes you really appreciate those jerseys, and it leaves you wanting more, which is great because as a fan seeing a jersey reveal, the team wants you to want more. Like, you want to go buy a ticket and go see the jerseys and the team and the game in person. And this video makes you want to do that. It's intense. All right, we're on our last one here from University of Florida. So Gators football, let's check it out. This is an effect that I've seen in a bunch of places, but this is the first place that I saw it, and I think it's really creative. This is all very fly on the wall. Almost on a tripod. It's not on a tripod. It's handheld, but it's pretty close to being on a tripod. It's very static. But yeah, the reason I like this is because it gives you an inside look at the team's practice, but in a more engaging way that's like more likely to catch your eye than a regular gallery of static video clips would. So as far as the visual effects here, in After Effects, you're rotoscoping the subject and any key elements of your shot, but you don't need to rotoscope everything. It's kind of more engaging, this effect, if you only rotoscope the elements that you want the audience's eyes to be drawn to. So if you look here in this first clip, look at number 59. He just picks up a ball and runs off, and he's off the frame. They don't bother rotoscoping him out. They only rotoscope the elements that are important, which is the ball rolling towards number 25 and number 25 himself, because he's the focal point of the shot. So here's the ball. It only masks for a few frames because it passes through this part really quickly. That goes through, and then you have maybe like 1 second of masking for just the edges of this ball and this player as he runs through the frame. This is all really clean, and he's gone. Just a couple frames, but it makes the video really stand out. You could probably do that effect in 15 minutes. Again, same thing here. This player was not rotoscoped coming onto the frame. He just rotoscoped here right at the end, and only the little tip of his helmet is masked out. The rest is just like a standard shot. And all you have to do is kind of crop in 5% or 10% on each edge of this video to kind of get it looking like this. This was probably shot widescreen 16:9 with just cropping the edges off. And they cropped it just to the point where there'd be a little bit of the helmet that they could mask out. So super cool effect. I've seen many other teams do that after, but I saw it here first, so I just assumed they were the originators. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. And if you have any other questions about anything we talked about today, or you have other creators in the college football space, or like other videos that you think I should check out on this series or react to next, drop those down in the comment section, because I'd love to hear from you and potentially do that as well. I want to start doing more of this breakdown type of content on the channel again, because we took a little bit of a lull, but we're getting back into it and it's going to be good. So if you like this video, subscribe to the channel, because I post videography and video editing tips, tutorial videos similar to this on a regular basis, and I'd love to have you around for them. That's all I got for you today. So until next time, peace.